Alright, so in this video today, I'm going to showcase 10 different methods to improve your FPS in Fortnite, which have actually been used by pro players, such as Bugha.
Apparently there's some subtitles in Fortnite that you need to like change the settings of for better FPS.
What? Where?
Peterbot 2.
Why are you playing Windowed Fullscreen?
You don't know about the Peterbot speak? You're gonna be a god.
And don't forget Clix.
Might be vowed. Might be vowed.
So if a video helps out, please drop a like on it and subscribe for more. But getting into method 1, both AsianJeff and Peterbot use Windowed Fullscreen instead of the popular fullscreen option, which may come at a surprise considering Nvidia proved that fullscreen was slightly better for achieving lower latency. However, you've got to remember that both of these players both stream while playing, so they'll actually benefit from the Windowed Fullscreen capabilities of switching through applications a lot easier. On top of that, they both use a stretched resolution of 1720 by 1080, which also can be used on Windowed Fullscreen. And if you didn't know about that, using it can significantly boost your FPS, it can lower your input delay, and as an extra, it can also make the player models look a lot bigger. So that's the best conclusion I can give of why these two prefer windowed mode full screen over the default option. Next is method 2. In the game settings, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see these options here, and they're 2 energy saving mode settings, and many people have reported that when enabled, these do cause them to have stutters in game, which isn't ideal at all, so I recommend you go ahead and disable both of these options. Oh, and while you are in here, you'll see above you've got the replay settings. I like to disable the majority of these, as these two can also negatively affect your performance in game. Next up is method 3. Back inside the settings, but this time under audio, you'll see the subtitles button. Inside here, copy exactly what I've got. You want to turn the subtitles off, you want to make the text size extra small, you want to make the text color white, the text border on none, and then the background opacity on clear. And that right there is a little trick used by Bugha to slightly boost your FPS, so be sure to give it a go if you haven't already. Next is method 4. Inside the Epic Games launcher, you want to find Fortnite and head into its options. In here you'll see Save the World, which is the specific game files for that. If you don't play it, disable this setting. High resolution textures, these are required to make the game look a lot more beautiful in game, but if you disable this setting, it'll give you a slight FPS boost. DirectX 12 shaders, these are required to use the DirectX rendering mode. If you don't use this and use performance mode, you should disable this setting. And then you've got pre-download stream assets, which I like to keep enabled, because if you didn't know, this pre-installs all the assets when you join the lobby, which prevents the assets from being streamed when you encounter them in game. So overall, if you copy these exact installation options, you will get more FPS. In addition to that, we've got method 6, which is back in the Epic Games launcher, but this time in the settings. You want to scroll down till you see desktop notifications, and you want to disable both of these options, as when they are pushed out by Epic Games, they can cause FPS stutters in game. After that, you can scroll down till you find additional command line arguments, and if you tick this is optional by the way, you can try pasting in these different commands for different benefits. However, I will note a lot of people have said that Epic Games sadly no longer support these command lines, but it's something you can try anyway. Moving on to method 7. If you weren't aware, most pro players actually use the latest Nvidia drivers, as they usually benefit the best GPUs / latest GPUs out there, such as the RTX 4090. It's also something Epic Games recommend doing to improve your performance and prevent crashes. Another thing they tend to do is optimize their Nvidia settings. They'll turn off things like dynamic vibrance, image scaling. Many actually use lower latency mode. It's usually on or ultra. I'm pretty sure most have the max frame rate off. Some do use the monitor technology depending on their monitor. Power mode, most of them do have it on default, as it's the best sort of middle ground one, but if they're in need of more FPS, they will put it on prefer maximum performance. After that, pretty much all of them will customize their Nvidia 3D settings found in the Nvidia control panel. Inside here is where you'll find a lot more settings, which are all heavily customizable to get more FPS. However, I did already make a video covering all of these settings the best ones for it on screen here. So if you copy all those settings, you yourself will get a pretty significant FPS boost. Next is method 8. If you open up Discord, head into the settings and scroll down to advanced, you'll find the hardware acceleration setting, which is enabled by default and basically helps improve the overall smoothness of the app. But if, like most people, you are running the app while playing the game, if you've got a much lower end PC, maybe a low end PC or a medium end PC, many have reported that when using this setting, it can cause stutters and even crashes. So because of this, a lot of people tend to disable the hardware acceleration setting, and it's something I recommend you try to see if it does benefit you in any sort of way. If it doesn't, you can just go ahead and re-enable it. In addition to that is method number 9. We're going to do a similar thing but in Google Chrome, which a lot of people do have open while playing the game. To find the setting in here, just go into the settings tab. If you then scroll down to system, you will see the hardware acceleration setting. Similar to Discord, this setting helps improve the overall smoothness of the app. But like I mentioned before, it is definitely worth disabling if you are on a lower end PC. It's something you can try, and if it does benefit you, you can keep it disabled. If it doesn't, you can re-enable it. Finally, we've got method 10, and we're going to go over some Windows optimizations which pros do use. The first one is to press the Windows key and R, then type in system properties performance.exe, and this will open up the visual effects tab. If you click on adjust for best performance, you'll notice it unchecks all the settings, but what we need to do is tick these 5 essential ones, which I'm doing on screen right now, to get the basic functionality from Windows. It's just more stripped down without all the fancy animations and stuff like that. From there, we're going to type in services, and basically what we're going to do in here is disable some of the services to lower our overall processes in Windows. It'll basically be stuff that has no sort of use whatsoever and you will rarely use, like the wallet service right here. Now, if you do actually use this, you obviously don't want to do it, but if you literally just right click on it, go into its properties, then head into the startup type and disable it, that's literally all you need to do to disable a process/service. There's plenty other ones you can do it to as well, like the Windows Insider service. Just go into the properties and then disable it like so. And the last thing I've seen a lot of the pros do is head into their accessibility settings. They then go into visual effects, and under where it says transparency effects, they'll actually disable this setting, which does actually make Windows look a lot cleaner and it will help with performance. In addition to that, you can also go under and disable the animation effects, which you can imagine can also boost your FPS slightly, and then under the audio or accessibility/captions, you can turn those off too. I do believe though they are disabled by default. But after following all those different methods I've showcased in this video, you definitely should see some FPS gains, which if you do, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and use my code in the item shop. And before you do go, feel free to check out any of my other videos on screen right now.